right here? First time. Oh. Hello everyone, my name is Faith and welcome to my first YouTube video! Okay, well, maybe not my first, but like my first serious video. Yay! Okay, maybe not that serious, but you know what I mean. I've watched way too many cosplay YouTubers all at once and thought, I could do that. Well, not like make an internationally acclaimed strawberry Fuku ensemble, but make a video detailing my cosplay construction. I attended my first convention and wore my first cosplay, made by my mom at the time, when I was 9. And these past 2 years, I've been going to SidCon to participate in the masquerade in a cosplay of my own creation. This year, I'm making Sailor Moon. I've also roped my mom and my best friend into this too, but I'm just making my cosplay. In this video, I will be focusing on making her bodysuit, Fuku, her skirt, basically everything on the torso save the brooch, which I will sculpt at a later time. So I'm making a mock-up out of some muslin from Joanne, may she rest in peace, to accurately pattern that little seam under the bust. It's a good thing I chose to do that because I cut it too small. It's a bit tight when I put it on. In fact, this thing over here kind of ripped. But that's okay. This is just, a muslin to work on. So I think what I'm gonna do is I drew this out. But that's because, they have the little seam right there under the breast. So I'm trying to replicate that. So I'm already gonna cut up and make a separate pattern piece for that. And then I think I'm gonna add, I'm gonna be generous, 3/4 inch all around. Just to make it fit. And if it's too loose, I can always take it in. Now I am a teeny tiny individual, but these things happen. When they happen, you gotta extend the pattern by hand. At least I was able to get that seam down. And would you look at that? It can go over my body without tearing. After 2 different mock-ups, it was time to cut the stretchy fabric. I got this knit jersey from Fabric Wholesale Direct, and I like it a lot. But as with a lot of white fabrics that I've worked with, it's a little bit see-through. So, since I've had enough of it, I cut a second set of the pattern to make a lining. Then it was time to sew the sleeves. Since I saw no need to double layer them because I'm making little sleeve puffies, I sewed my first French seam. You guys, I made my first French seam. It's not perfect. In fact, it's nowhere near perfect, as you can see all these little bits. But if I turn this inside out, I'm doing this one-handed, by the way. Look at it. There it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited. And now came the hard part of sewing sleeves into the bodysuit. Sewing them on. I hate doing that. I hate sewing things. I hate sewing sleeves onto the things, So I know sewing machines have a feature where you can slide the sleeves into the sewing machine to sew them in the round all nice and smoothly. But I have a feeling that my arms are too skinny for it to go smoothly. So I do it the hard way. And those TikToks joking about how everything's going smoothly until the bobbin runs out? Well, my bobbin didn't run out. But yeah, that's right, my whole darn spool ran out. In my defense, it was white thread on a white spool. It was hard to spot if you're just looking up like for half a second. After that, I put in a couple elastics. I hate sleeves, but I also hate putting in elastics, and I think elastic hates me back. So, you know, at least the feeling is mutual. But, you know, nobody's gonna see the elastic under the puffs and the skirt, so I think I will be fine. Speaking of the puffs, the patterning begins. The shape of the puffs aren't one simple tube. It's three tubes that are thin towards the armpit and thicker as it goes out. What I did is I divided the length of the sleeve that I had in the pattern by 3 and used those measurements to plot out what half the tube would look like. Then I cut them out on the fold, and well, so I made the pattern here out of notebook paper, and then I cut them out, pinned them. I'm gonna sew them, stuff them, and stitch them together into little loops. Then I'm gonna put them on the bodysuit. Hopefully, look like that. Just like that. I don't have footage of sewing all that, but you don't want to see it. It was a lot of slip stitching. It took ages to finish. Good time to catch up on my Sailor Moon binging though. I've also been reading the manga, and yes, I've already read Codename Sailor V as well. I know many people aren't a fan of the filler in the 90s anime, but I don't mind. Do you guys like the 90s anime or Crystal better? Let me know. After all that hand stitching was done, I had to do more. I needed to do the waist puff, which I also patterned out. Here's a pattern right here, this lovely obtuse angle. Put this on the fold of the fabric, and there you have one continuous puff. I measured right like on my pelvic, hip bone, whatever. And then I sewed it, I stuffed it. All the puffs are stuffed with pillow fluff. I really like the shape, and I really like how it turned out. But it took a while, a long while. You know, a bajillion years later, I was finally able to shift gears. Okay, skirt time. I love skirt time. I wondered how the heck am I going to sew this pretty skirt. I mean, it's so frilly, and I love it. But I had no idea how to do it. So, you know, I searched around, and I found this online tutorial by Cosplay. Is that how you say it? Probably. So this is basically a double circle skirt. And this double circle skirt is box pleated in 3-inch sections. And to make this circle skirt, you take the radius of your waist or hip, and I used the Mood Fabric skirt calculator because I was too lazy to calculate my own radius. You fold the fabric into quarters, and you cut the radius, and then you cut your desired length of the skirt, give or take a few inches. You do that twice, and you sew the skirts together, which I also did French seams for them. I'm so proud I learned a new skill. And then bam! Skirt! And this isn't my first rodeo with circle skirts. I remade my Pinky cosplay dress last year with one, so I could put a petticoat underneath. And no, I'm not talking about the Pinkie Pie. I'm talking Pinky. From Pinky and the Brain. As in Animaniacs. The more videos I make and the more you watch, it will probably become painfully obvious that I like a certain 90s animation franchise. I don't have a problem. After I plated that sucker, I took the dust cover off a machine that I was both excited and very anxious to get to since I got it from Christmas last year. I got a Serger. Well, I mean, technically, it's an overlock machine from a Spanish-speaking country. It's called a Moda, which is Spanish for fashion. Also, las instrucciones aparecer primero en español y luego en inglés. Lo siento, it's been years since my last Spanish class. I'm a bit rusty. Actually, despite what people say, at least for me, it's not a pain in the butt to thread the serger. I mean, sure, it's a lot of ups and downs, way different from like an actual like sewing machine, but I didn't have too much of a problem. In fact, I was very proud of how like my edges came out. I love it so much, but it is very loud. I also figured out why it came with suction cups on the bottom. My little frog figure fell off my shelf. Not broken, but still, it was like a mini earthquake on my desk. I should have pleated the skirt after I serged that smaller raw edge, but now I know for later. I folded it over, sewed it, and let it hang overnight. So my plan for this cosplay was to make all of the pieces be able to be like detached for washing purposes, but also in the future, if I want to be like Sailor Venus or Sailor Mercury, I wouldn't have to make an entire bodysuit over again. I don't want to do that. So in order to accomplish that, what I did is I applied 16 pairs of these bad boys, these hooks and eyes, to the bottom of my waist puff so that they could just hook on and hook off and I can wash them. Real easy. After it was done hanging, I cut off about an inch of the skirt that was already about a foot long with my pinky shears. Do you want to see how long my skirt is, like the circumference? It's like a magician's scarf. It never ends. Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at all this. I feel like a cat batting around string. It's fun. After I cut the skirt, I went and I serged the remaining raw edge. And then I was gonna hem it, but then I wanted it to be more magical. It was already like poofy enough with all the ruffles, but I wanted more. I mean, she's a magical girl. She's the magical girl for a lot of people. With Madoka, any Precure, or Cardcaptor Sakura coming in a close second. So, what I did, the tutorial that I looked at went and recommended I add horsehair braid. And this is horsehair braid. It's just this little plastic-y ribbon that holds a nice little shape, and you can put it in hats or hems, and it's got this really nice flouncy poofy effect. And I put it into the hem and I love it. Next up on my list is the sailor collar. A pattern piece I was actually very nervous to make. It looked quite daunting. I mean, it's just a shape, but still, I did a lot of math, calculating the length, width, angles. I bought a protractor for this. And I'm so glad that I kept all my college notebook paper or high school notebook paper that I haven't used. Because I mean, in a semester, you get half, maybe a fourth of actual notes, and then the rest is just scratch paper. But good on me for reusing all that. I didn't get it on my first draft, as you can probably see, with this very clean, very professional, no gaps or anything pattern. But it worked. Fortunately, I didn't record any footage of me making the collar. I was rather locked in. But what I can do is I can show you the finished product. Look at it. Same material as the skirt. Very shiny. I love the shiny royal blue. It's so pretty. Before I sewed them together, I sewed on these ribbons, which I did decorative stitching to hide the straight stitching that I couldn't do because this ribbon is slippery. But it goes all the way around, and then I turned it inside, like right side out, and pressed it. And then I sewed, I sewed along the outside, but I didn't sew in the inside, so I could add these little snaps that correspond to snaps that I actually added into the bodysuit, so to keep it from moving around a lot. Then I sewed these sides on the inside, then flipped it back here, and then I slip stitched along this back edge, finally closing it up with yet another pair of hooks and eyes. So we've got like a total count of 17 right now. Last part of the sailing suit we're focusing on today are the bows. The big bows, the gravity-defying magical bows. There were 2 bows we gotta make, the chest bow and the butt bow. This is by far the hardest fabric to color match, at least for me. The bows are not exactly red, but not exactly pink. They're like a fuchsia, kinda. I use a lovely fuchsia-ish fabric, the closest shade I could get at my local quilting store. Wait, shouldn't your bows be shiny? And well, I kind of do agree with you. I like shiny stuff. But I was with my mom when we were buying the stuff for the bows, and she couldn't find anything for her Venus-like bows that was in a satin. We were lucky enough to find the orange satin for her outfit. So she went and got like blue, yellow, and red felt for her bows. So I went and followed suit with some fleece. Besides, I love working with fleece. I made plenty of ears and tails out of it. I love working with it. It's fun. The new thing I was working with though was stabilizer, which definitely gave me a hard time, but it's meant to keep the bows nice and puffy and structured. And I was curious actually on how to do the bows until I started binging Sarah Spaceman for like, I don't know how many times, like I don't know which time. I watch her a lot. But when she was working on the Strawberry Miku cosplay, I was introduced to loop bows, which I want to say she also learned from Cosmic Coterie, which was the same website that I got my skirt tutorial from. I observed the fabric shapes that she cut out, and I got to work. So to make the pattern, you first make a T of your desired max width and your length of 1 loop of your bow. On what would be the bottom of your T, you make a line half the size of the width, with the length being the middle point. Then you make a curved line to connect the two and add seam allowance. You can cut on the fold, but as I didn't want to harshly fold the stabilizer, I mirrored it on the other side. The bow tails are basically trapezoids. I made the butt bow way bigger than the chest bow, but I encourage y'all, if you're trying to follow my lead, why are you following my lead? To play with the size of the bows. Have fun with it, because I certainly did. I cut 2 fabric pieces for every stabilizer piece so I could sandwich the stiff stabilizer inside the bow. Sewing it all nearly broke me. As I broke not 1, not 2, but 4 machine needles. I broke 2 stretch needles, 1 universal needle, and then 1 universal needle for thick fabrics. I mean, logically, fleece, it stretches. I thought I should have gone with a stretch needle with a zigzag stitch. Apparently not. I forgot to account for the stabilizer, so it kind of messed everything up. But eventually, I got it all down. And I'm so happy that I did. Because these bows, oh my goodness. What I did after I sandwiched everything, I pinched them in the middle, sewed that close, and then I sewed everything together so it looks like a bow. And then I made a strip of a structured bow knot that would tightly wrap around the bow. And thank you, Sarah Spaceman, by the way. I would be so lost without you. What I did is I put horsehair braid inside of the bow knot so that it stays nice and shaped. And then after that, I was ready to finally stick the bows onto the bodysuit and try it on. Bow. Look at the bow. Oh my goodness, goodness. I can't believe it. I am so happy with this. I mean, the only thing I might change is I might have 2 extra pairs of knives on here. Just that from showing off my chest. But other than that, this is awesome. Oh my god. I am so happy with how this came out. Like, I can't believe that, like, I achieved that! It looks so pretty, and I patterned out so much, and what I didn't pattern, I still altered. I must say, it's my best work so far. I'm so happy. Oh my god. My favorite part has to be the bows. Like, they are so poofy and cartoony and magical and weird, and oh my goodness. Those were worth the sore fingers, the frustration. All of this was worth the sore fingers and frustration. And I cannot wait to work on the rest of this. For those still here, thank you so much for sticking around through my first big serious video, and thank you for putting up with me. If you can't tell, I'm a bit nervous. I mean, this is my first time. It's a bit awkward, but I had fun making it, and I hope I have fun editing it. Fingers crossed. And yes, I will definitely make more videos like this, and hopefully try to get better at it. Hopefully not be less awkward. If you did enjoy the video, please spam that like button. Oh, yeah. This is my stuffed cat named Spam. So I'm gonna focus on him. He's so cute. But yeah, spam that like button if you really like the video. It would make my day if you subscribe and ding that little bell so you don't miss a single thing I do. Also, I would really appreciate some feedback in the comments. What I did well, improve on, stuff like that. Help me make my content awesome. But anyways, that is all I have at the moment. So bye!